Once upon a time, a cataclysm occurred, unleashing a series of levels. Monsters of varying levels emerged through a gate into the human realm, level 130, level 146, level 180, level 200, level 170. The reality was shaped by the level from which these monsters appeared, becoming an absolute indicator that affected people as well. A world now revolved around levels, where higher levels signified superiority. Inside a dungeon, there existed a monster named Nurgle, with an unknown level. A man, despite being at level 457, stood before Nurgle, bewildered by the uncertainty of how to defeat it. While contemplating, the man's teammates approached, urging the leader to leave the dungeon immediately. The leader, aware of the potential devastation if the monster escaped, decided they needed to buy time and await help from outside. As his teammates rushed back to the portal, emphasizing the importance of a safe return, the leader drew his sword and expressed, "Damn, sacrificing isn't my style." Approaching Nurgle, he declared, "Here I go, you bastard," and lunged forward, only to be struck by Nurgle, sending him crashing to the ground. A notification flashed for the leader, "You have received an attack exceeding capacity. Guardian's armor has been destroyed. Only 5% health remains." Stained with blood, lying on the ground, he regretted, "Damn it. If only my level were a bit higher, I could have performed better." Suddenly, Nurgle swung his axe again, and the leader wondered if this was the end. At that critical moment, an explosion erupted, and a man appeared, blocking Nurgle's axe effortlessly with just a dagger. The leader, perplexed, questioned, "How is this possible? He did that with just a thin sword." The man exclaimed, "Finally, I found you. Why are you hiding in such a pathetic dungeon?" The leader cautioned him as Nurgle attempted a sneak attack. The man easily dodged the sneak attack and leapt onto Nurgle's hand, rushing forward. He raised his dagger and swiftly killed Nurgle. The leader, shocked, shouted, "Who the heck are you? What level are you?" The man turned and said, "Me? I'm level 1. A long time ago, Geonwoo found himself in a dungeon, scouring cacao books for guidance on succeeding as a hunter. The book's advice struck a nerve, asserting that with unwavering determination, one could overcome anything. It emphasized putting in maximal effort and avoiding blame on society or luck for failures, directing the finger at one's laziness. Enraged, he hurled his cell phone to the ground, exclaiming, "That's funny." His name was Lee Geonwoo, and his level was 46. Turning to the deceased monster behind him, he reflected, 7 years. I've dedicated a whopping 7 years from the age of 20 until now, striving to become a hunter. Yet, the results have been disappointing every time. He listed various reasons for his failures during the hunter exam, from the impossibility of defeating assigned monsters in the early stages to collapsing due to depleted stamina after working tirelessly to secure equipment. As Geonwoo reminisced about his life, a figure approached. It was the hunter supervisor who shouted, "Hey, intern over there. Have you defeated all the low-level monsters and taken a break?" Geonwoo stood up, fumbling before answering, "What? Yes. I killed them all." The supervisor inquired, "If you're done, shouldn't you return to the starting point and turn in the loot? Why are you resting while looking at your phone? Don't tell me you don't want to participate in the boss raid." Geonwoo paused, reflecting on the boss raid participation. Not only do they not take interns, but even if they do, they only take those with a lot of money or a rich background. Trying to deceive me with a lie. Scratching his head, he apologized, "Hee, I'll head there right away." The supervisor urged him, "Hurry up. Kids these days are crazy." Geonwoo ran from the place, cursing the supervisor as an old bastard. As he neared the portal, he was surprised to see only a few students gathered. "What's this? I thought the first party members were more than this." Is everyone just fooling around like me? As he pondered, a boy called from behind, "Oh, it's a future high ranker, Mr. Lee Geonwoo. Have you raised your level?" The man who called him was his high school classmate, Kim Min-suk. Geonwoo questioned him, "Why do you keep mentioning becoming a high ranker when I have no intention of doing so?" Putting that aside, he inquired again, "But why is the party so small? And on top of that, it's only low-level interns." Kim Min-suk informed him, "Huh? Didn't you hear from the hunter supervisor? An emergency convocation order has been issued to the guild due to an unconfirmed A-rank dungeon popping up. After clearing it for the first time, the rewards were no joke, so they easily gave up on D-rank dungeons like this. That's why this time, they plan to clear the boss with just the remaining guild members and 2 interns." Geonwoo frowned. "Wait, so that means..." Kim Min-suk added, "This means that you can beat the boss and level up today." Thinking about the reward, both of them exchanged a high-five of happiness. Geonwoo questioned, "But who are the 2 remaining guild members? If you want to take interns and kill an AD-level dungeon boss, you'd have to be at a fairly high level." Kim Min-suk explained, "Well, I haven't heard that far. They wouldn't leave behind an incompetent person, would they? This dungeon self-destructs when its health is low. Even if the guild's emergency convocation order is issued, to take on the boss with 10 interns, you must have at least 2 hunters of level 100 or higher. It's basic among basics." Geonwoo glanced at a person nearby and asked, "However, is it possible?" The person in question was named Cho Yong, the grandson of the chairman of one of Korea's leading mid-sized companies, with a level of 55. Approaching him, Geonwoo inquired, "Have you ever tried catching a circlemus?" Cho Yong replied, "Pardon? No, this is my first time." It was apparent among the remaining guild members that he was the one being carried. Geonwoo asked, "Oh, I see. So, what is your experience in a boss dungeon raid?" Cho Yong responded, "I have none. I've only been observing up to this point." "But why?" "Ah. You seem anxious. Don't worry. Even if I lack experience, I can rely on the gear." "Huh." Geonwoo thought, hiring a hunter with money who travels around dungeons for a dungeon tour, is unbelievable. Living as a veteran hunter with a level over 100 might still be insufficient. In that case, what to believe is, the only one left among the remaining guild members is the hunter supervisor, level 205. With that person and the overgeared master Cho Yong, covering for the absence of power brought by the others should be more than enough. However, boss raids are not something you do alone. You also need to be able to handle minor mobs that appear intermittently and adapt to boss monsters that suddenly change their attack targets. If that doesn't work, you'll just become food for the boss monster one by one. Additionally, Circlemus self-destructs after 3 minutes if its health falls below 30%. You need to determine the outcome within that. The hunter supervisor addressed everyone, "Now, have you all studied well to know the boss's pattern? I won't talk too much. Kill the random mobs that appear, and when they try to blow themselves up, use all your strength to hit them." Geonwoo raised his hand, asking what to do if the damage was insufficient. The supervisor replied, "Escape to the portal. But it would be better to attack even if it means dying. If no one is in the boss room when it self-destructs, the dungeon will be cleared, but experience points and items will be lost." Drawing his long sword, he urged everyone, "Then. If you don't have any more questions, let's proceed right away. Everyone, advance. Advance." As people started entering the dungeon, Geonwoo thought, "Sigh, now it seems I can't back out anymore." Choi Yong approached from behind, asking, "Did you say your name was Lee Geonwoo? Your level is a little higher than others." Have you ever beaten a boss? Kim Suk put his hand on Geonwoo's shoulder and declared, "Oh, didn't you know? This guy has defeated the boss over 3 times. Geonwoo glared at him, "Huh? Me?" Kim Suk winked at him, indicating it was a lie. Choi Yong suggested, "Oh, then the 3 of us should stick together. I've only observed, so my experience is lacking. If we gather and divide roles among ourselves, it seems much more efficient. What do you think?" Kim Suk chimed in, "Huh, good. Geonwoo, are you okay with it?" Geonwoo replied, "Oh well, I'm fine with that." Kim Suk shook his hand and stated, "I'm looking forward to it. You must defeat the boss monster. I need to level up today." Choi Yong chimed in, "That's a good idea. I also need the items that the circlemus drops." Kim Suk added, "Oh, the intentions are aligned. How about sharing a drink after it's all done?" Choi Yong agreed, that sounds good." Geonwoo glared at the newfound friendship of the two and thought, this guy, in the end, was that the intention? Securing an opportunity to enter higher dungeons through connections with the Chable family son. Well, if you have connections with a rich person, you can get the opportunity to enter higher-level dungeons more easily than regular hunters. Choi Yong came forward and shook hands with Geonwoo, stating, "I look forward to it, Mr. Geonwoo." Geonwoo replied, "Oh, yes. It's my pleasure." The trio looked at the portal, and Choi Yong declared, "Okay then. Let's enter." Kim Suk nodded in agreement, "Yeah. Great." Geonwoo added, "Well, let's be happy. Opportunities like this in life don't come by often after all." Choi Yong held a strange smile while entering the dungeon. Behind him, Geonwoo thought, but why does it feel so ominous? Inside the dungeon, Circlemus appeared at level 122, with its remaining strength at 30%. Undead skeletons were summoned from the ground. The battle ensued, and some exclaimed, "This is crazy. There are over 50 of them." Another added, "The monster levels are also 100 higher than usual. Darn it. Why did it turn out like this?" On the other hand, Geonwoo struggled to fight against the relentless undead summons. In the distance, Choi Yong panted, asking, HAA, what should you do, Mr. Geonwoo? It seems like we might fail at this rate." Then, turning his head, he shouted, "Someone, please provide support over here." The supervisor yelled, "What is everyone doing? Quickly defeat the minor mobs and join us here." Geonwoo exclaimed, "Darn it. The number of skeletons is no joke. How are we supposed to join in?" Just at that moment, Kim Suk interrupted and pushed aside an undead summon, exclaiming, "Hurry up and go defeat the Circlemus. I'll handle it here." Geonwoo questioned him, "What? How do you plan to handle it alone? You might get killed." Kim Suk replied, "Just endure for 1 minute. Hurry and go help the supervisor." Choi Yong came forward, urging Geonwoo, "Let's go, Mr. Geonwoo. Let's finish this quickly." Geonwoo glared at the single eye at the belly of Circlemus and frowned. Then he turned to Kim Suk and told him, "Just hold on for 30 seconds. I'll finish it in that time." Geonwoo, the supervisor, and Choi Yong relentlessly attacked Circlemus. The supervisor yelled at them, "Where are you coming now? Hurry up and hit them." The remaining strength of the Circlemus was still 23%, and the time remaining was only 50 seconds. Time kept ticking down, 48 seconds left. As the time gradually decreased, Geonwoo thought, "Darn it. I don't think this is going to work." He turned and said, "Supervisor, it's not working. We need to retreat." The supervisor denied his request, saying, "No. We can do this. It's not over until it's over." Geonwoo retorted, "Crazy. That's something you say in a sports match. This isn't a sport. If we continue like this, we will be annihilated." The supervisor cautioned him, "Watch out." Suddenly, at that moment, an undead summon slashed his sword at Geonwoo. Somehow, he dodged the attack, but his nose was grazed, and blood spurted. In retaliation, Geonwoo drove his sword and killed that summons. The next moment, several undead summonses were approaching him. The supervisor shouted, "What is everyone doing? Why are the skeletons coming this way?" When he looked back, all of them were injured and fallen on the ground. "Oh, shit!" He urged everyone to take care of the injured. "We are irritating outside the bathroom." As they were about to depart, one of the summonses pierced Choi Yong's leg with a sword. "Geez. Lower your head." With that said, Geonwoo knocked that summon and saved Choi Yong. The supervisor commanded, "Support and follow me. I'll secure the retreat path." Then, turning to Kim Suk, he added, "Hey there. I'm creating an escape route. Hurry up and assist." Meanwhile, the remaining undead summons blocked the path to the exit portal. Only 19 seconds were left for the boss to self-destruct. Geonwoo looked at the time and sneered, "Darn it. There's not much time. It's about to self-destruct." He instantly grabbed Choi Yong above his shoulder, telling him to hold tightly. Choi Yong said, "Ugh. I'm sorry, Mr. Geonwoo. I had to focus on capturing the circlemus and couldn't." Geonwoo replied, "It's okay. Let's finish the conversation outside." Choi Yong asked, "Are you okay?" Geonwoo replied, Yes, I am. I'm in a hurry, so don't talk to me." Kim Suk and the supervisor, who had cleared the path, urged them to move faster. Geonwoo put down Choi Yong. "Take him." Only 6 seconds were remaining. Geonwoo knocked another summon in his path. With 4 seconds remaining, all four ran forward. Suddenly, at that moment, Choi Yong's mouth curled up. Ukulele said it was okay, didn't you?" 2 seconds remained. In those last seconds, Choi Yong kicked at the chest of Geonwoo, causing him to fall into the dungeon alone. As the countdown reached 0, Circlemus self-destructed, and an explosion occurred. While lying unconscious, Geonwoo recalled the memory of his childhood when he ran towards his mom and dad, declaring that he was going to become a hunter. His mom asked, "Hunter? Why? Do you want to protect people by hunting monsters?" He replied, "No. I just want to earn a lot of money. Earn tons of money and give allowance to my younger siblings. Change the leaking roof in the house and replace the car that's been around for more than 10 years. His mom smiled and asked, "Really? Is that your dream?" He replied, "Oh. I'm going to marry a beautiful person too. To do that, I need a ton of money." His dad said, "Our child has quite a realistic dream. But Geonwoo, why are you lying down like that?" Suddenly, his unconsciousness was broken. He opened his eyes and sneered, "What? Am I still alive? It's too dark. I'm not blind, right?" As he was just murmuring, his name echoed through his ear. Geonwoo. Outside the dungeon, the three were shouting his name, calling out to him. The supervisor exclaimed, "Darn it, seeing the circlemuses drop items, it seems like we were right about not being able to escape." Choi Yong came and said with a low voice, "I'm sorry. It's all because of me that Mr. Geonwoo." Hearing the fake concern, Geonwoo gritted his teeth, "Choi Yong, that bastard. You pushed me away, didn't you?" The bones of the undead summons started falling off. Damn it! The dungeon is about to collapse due to the explosion. Outside the dungeon, the supervisor exclaimed, quickly pick up whatever you can. Abandon the items buried in the rubble and retreat. Kim Suk said, Supervisor. We need to recover Geonwoo's body at least. The supervisor replied, there's nothing we can do. How can you find him among all these rocks? Even if we find him, we can't lift the stones. In between the stones, Geonwoo struggled to say, don't go. I'm still alive here. His voice lifted, please. Someone lift this. The supervisor stopped Kim Suk and said, don't forget the hunter's code. For a hunter, a dungeon is their graveyard. Kim Suk said with tears in his eyes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Geonwoo. Geonwoo shouted, no. Don't leave me. And suddenly, all the rocks fell and covered the dungeon. In between the rocks, Geonwoo's eyes were still open. He sneered, where did it all go wrong? Was it the moment I couldn't ignore the injured Choi Yong? Or the moment I applied for the internship? But even before that, why did Choi Yong push me? Because he was greedy for the items dropped by the Circlemus? Why would someone so rich do that? Damn it, I should have just joined the boss raid and gone home. My head is noisy with all sorts of questions. But no matter how much I regret it, nothing will change. The fact that I'm going to die here. The flash of his parents appeared, stating, is that really what you want? Suddenly, the realization hit him, I will, definitely, not die. Status window, open. The system window opened. Strength, 75. Agility, 46. Intelligence, 32. Senses, 22. Stamina, 67. Power, 30. Spirit, 43. Charm, 19. Points available for distribution, 0. HP 5 out of 6,950. MP 120 out of 300. He glared at the health points and said, only 5 health points left. I managed to survive somehow. With a lot of struggle, he moved his hand, took out his smartphone and turned on the flashlight. In front of him, there were only bones of undead summons. He thought, can I get out of this? Something caught his attention, and he looked to the right, turning on the flashlight. Is that wind? There was a small gap between the rocks. The wind blowing suggests a high probability of a passage or a space. Phew, let's go. Even if I die, I have to struggle. From that gap, first, his hand emerged, and slowly he came out with his whole body, Kek. Cough. I survived. When he opened his eyes, there was a long passage in front of him. What's this? There was an explosion, but this looks too different from the boss room earlier. It seems like some sort of passage. Suddenly, a portal appeared along that passage. Geonwoo was surprised, a dungeon, portal? Could it be that the explosion revealed a hidden entrance? Nah, can't be right. He reached near the portal and paused for a moment, thinking, why is it that ominous premonitions are never wrong? He touched the dungeon, and suddenly a notification appeared. A dungeon. Rank, SS. Would you like to enter? His eyes flashed with the rank level, SS rank. That's the highest difficulty level of existing dungeons. Even heroes, the top class among the hunters, hesitate to take it on. SS rank at level 600 and above, S rank at level 400 and above, A and B rank at level 300 and above, C and D rank at level 100 and above, E rank at level 30 and above, F rank at level 1 and above. He instantly backed off, exclaiming, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. But then he stopped, SS rank. I'd rather live and die in a collapsing dungeon. Just as he said that, a huge rock dropped in front of him, and suddenly the whole dungeon started exaggerating. This is crazy. He started running back towards the portal, shouting, "Enter! Enter! Enter!" And then he entered the SS-ranked dungeon. He fell and rolled onto the ground. Turning his head up, he remarked numerous graveyards in front of him. Is it because it's SS rank? It's a dungeon and not a cave. As the fog gradually disappeared, he saw a figure nearby and identified him as a monster. Above him, his level appeared, or, is it not? Phew, the fact that the level window is blue means it's a person. Then, this must be an open dungeon, and that person must be a hero who came to clear the dungeon. I'm saved. He approached forward, shouting, "Hey, hero. Please help me." A huge flash appeared around that person, making Geonwoo unable to see them. That person exclaimed, "You who have amassed endless efforts, here lies what you have desired." Geonwoo was surprised, "Huh? What's this? The voice sounds so clear in my ears even though it's far away." He looked at the person and said, "Excuse me?" The person in front of him gave no response. Geonwoo thought, what is he doing? It's like a pause screen since he's not moving at all. He waved his hand and said again, "Hey there." The light again flashed upon that person, and he shouted, "You who have amassed endless effort." Geonwoo couldn't understand what he meant. Suddenly he realized, could it be that, an NPC, a non-player character? Even though reality has become like a game, it's a well-known fact that NPCs don't exist in real life. Wow! Then, am I the first to discover an NPC? The light again flashed upon that person, and he shouted, "You who have amassed endless effort. You who have amassed endless effort." Geonwoo shouted, covering his ears, "Stop it, damn it. Arg." Suddenly, that NPC spoke, "Ah, man, just when I tried to act like an NPC after so long, I got stuck with this monotonous repeat." "Huh? What's your level?" Geonwoo replied, It's 46. That NPC said, "I know, man. Do you think my eyes are just for show? How the heck did a level 46 get in here?" Geonwoo answered, "Well, it kind of just happened." NPC sneered, "Just happened, huh? Oomph. How did this happen?" Geonwoo asked, Who are you?" NPC replied, "Me? I'm the manager here. In game terms, guess I'm something like an NPC." Geonwoo sneered, as expected. Then he stood up and asked, "Could you please tell me the way out of here?" NPC replied, "There is none. The only way to leave this place is to clear the dungeon by yourself." Geonwoo frowned, "What? You're joking, right? How can I, a level 46, clear an SS-ranked dungeon?" NPC replied, "Well, that's true. But don't get too discouraged. Levels and health don't mean anything." Geonwoo asked, "What? What do you mean?" NPC replied, "Do you know that this is an SS rank place? Whether you're level 46 or 500, you can be taken down. The only thing that matters is one thing, luck." Geonwoo's eyes widened, "Luck? What kind of?" NPC replied, "This isn't just anyone can enter. You have to meet certain special conditions to be able to enter. In that regard, you're virulently somewhat lucky. Who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky again and even grab the hidden piece." Geonwoo asked, "With level 46 and only 5 health points?" NPC turned around and said, "Oh dear. Time's already up. I'd like to help more, but can't go beyond my authority." Geonwoo shouted from behind, "What? We are living like this? The NPC leapt in the air and told him, "Do your best. Opportunities abound if you don't give up. You, who have amassed endless efforts. Here lies the power you seek, evade death and find the truth. Only one entity can save you." With that said, he disappeared into the flashlight. A notification appeared, "Quest. Find a weapon." He was surprised, "What's this?" "Oh, and a tip, it's good to keep a close eye on the sky. The rain here hurts quite a bit when it hits." With that tip, he looked at the sky. A light appeared in the sky, and at a glance, several weapons were dropping from the sky. He dodged all the weapons to save himself barely. He stood up and noticed the shadow gradually decreasing. "What's this? Is it getting cloudy?" At that moment, a giant bull jumped above him. Geonwoo frowned, "This is crazy. What the hell?" As he said, the bull smashed his whole body onto the ground. Geonwoo barely saved himself and jumped aside. After that, when he slowly stood up, he saw that the bull was unconscious. His stats appeared in front of him, giant bull and level unknown. Geonwoo was surprised, its level is showing up as question marks. That means its level is at least 100 above mine. And I'm supposed to take this down? Then he recalled the words of NPC that there was none. The only way to leave this place is to clear the dungeon by yourself. Then he got confused and started scratching his head. "Oh well. I guess I have no choice but to try." Then he turned back, glaring at the several swords. He stepped forward and picked up a sword. The notification popped up, "Item, Great Sword of Brilliance. Grade, Legendary Attack Power, 1050." Geonwoo frowned, "Huh? Legendary grade? How did I get an item of the second beast grade so easily? And there's no restriction for equipping it either." Suddenly, his mouth curled into a smile as he held the sword. "Hey, it seems escaping this dungeon will be easier than I thought. Let's finish this in one hit." With determination, he advanced and swung his sword at the giant bull. A notification popped up, "The giant bull has received 0 damage." His expression shifted. Huh? The attack had no effect. Despite his attack, the giant bull remained undisturbed, still in a deep slumber. Swiftly, he struck with the sword and sprinted towards another weapon, thinking, "I don't have time to hesitate. I need to finish it off while it's still shocked from falling from the sky." He seized a black and golden axe. A notification appeared, "Barbarian Warrior's Battle Axe. Grade, Legendary. Attack Power, 1100. Special Passive Skill, Reinforcement, attack power increases by 1 for each strength status point. Additional attack power, 75. Without delay, he swung the axe at the giant bull, declaring, "This time, it's a weapon with an additional skill." The notification read, "The giant bull has received 0 damage." Frustrated, Geonwoo yelled, "Damn, why?" Suddenly, the giant bull awoke and locked eyes with Geonwoo, its gaze filled with murderous intent. Stunned, Geonwoo greeted, "Hello." He swiftly retreated at full speed, with the giant bull in pursuit. Realizing something, he abruptly stopped and mimicked a matador, waving a red cloth in front of the charging bull. He resumed running, urgently shouting, "Save me." A voice from the sky, likely an NPC, responded with laughter, "Bahahaha. Are you dancing? Your dodging form is like a work of art." Glaring at the sky, he retorted, "What, you there? So you didn't appear? Someone's dying here, and you're just watching and laughing?" The NPC replied, "Huh? But you haven't died, no?" Geonwoo muttered to himself, "If I somehow get out of here, I'm going to deal with both Choi Yong and that guy." Drawing from his memories, he recalled, while I was still in school, the teachers said during exam periods, the answer lies within the problem. Recalling the NPC's words, only one entity can save you, he turned his attention to the weapons scattered around. It sounds like it's saying that among these many weapons, only one can defeat the giant bull. The problem is, which one among them is the real weapon? I'm guessing there are over 1,000 weapons spread out on this field. The giant bull would finish me off before I get to test each one. In frustration, he scratched his head. Damn it, which one is the real one? Glancing back at the approaching bull, he realized, I don't have time to agonize over this. He grabbed a couple of swords and exclaimed, damn. If it's not dying, it'll be something close to it. Throwing all the weapons he could find at the bull, there was still no damage, and it continued to approach fearlessly. Confused in the situation, he struck a funny pose, declaring, evaded. Someone from above remarked, wow, how about you stop being a hunter and become a matador instead? Despite the attempt at humor, the giant bull continued its relentless charge, roaring without pause. In a split second, Geonwoo grabbed a shield from the ground, successfully defending against the oncoming attack of the giant bull. However, the forceful impact propelled Geonwoo several meters away. As he crashed onto the ground, a notification appeared, you have equipped the shield of the fallen king. Item special skill, damage absorption activated, you are unable to absorb all of the damage. Another notification followed, grimly stating, HP, 0, you have exhausted all your health points. The protective shield has been released. You were unable to absorb all of the damage. Lying on the ground, Geonwoo sneered, my HP has hit 0, and the stats the reinforcement effect added have all disappeared. I've become a normal person. Am I going to die like this? An NPC's voice echoed from the sky, get up, you idiot. Geonwoo replied, oh, shut up. I want to get up too, you know. The NPC insisted, pick up the weapon to your left. Instantly, Geonwoo grabbed the sword, and a notification appeared, Wind Sword. Grade, Heroic. Special skill, Air Gun consumes 50 MP, shoots out condensed air. Sneering, Geonwoo muttered, Heroic grade? And what am I supposed to do with this? Meanwhile, the giant bull loomed in front of him. The NPC instructed, aim and shoot in the 9 o'clock direction. The sword trembled as a tornado-like aura enveloped it. A powerful wind blew out from the sword, dragging Geonwoo backwards. Unfortunately, he collided with a tree, blood spitting from his mouth. Unconscious on the ground, Geonwoo lamented, I have no HP or MP left. My body is completely trashed, and I can't even run away. Is this the end? As he felt himself fading, his eyes caught a glimpse of a golden dagger embedded in the tree. A dagger that's not part of the fallen-from-the-sky weapons on the field. The NPC interrupted, saying, I didn't guide you. You were the one to find it. Struggling to stand, Geonwoo managed to get onto one knee and rushed forward, snatching the golden dagger from the tree. Suddenly, the dagger started glowing, and a notification appeared. Grade, unidentified. An item that requires a contract. You found the weapon. Quest has been completed. New quest, finish off the giant bull and complete the contract with the weapon. A thunderous energy surrounded both Geonwoo and the bull. Sneering, Geonwoo remarked, so I just need to finish that guy off, and it'll be over? The NPC assured him, that's right. Finish it. The giant bull charged madly with thunder and lightning above its head. Geonwoo realized, an unidentified skill whose name and power are unknown. There's no other way besides stabbing that dagger through its skull. The NPC questioned, but can you do it? urging him, "Why are you hesitating?" As the bull approached, Geonwoo's eyes flashed with gold, and his dagger too. Shouting, "I want to live," he jumped from the ground, leaning the dagger above his head, and smashed it onto the bull's head. A blinding light appeared, and boom! The whole area exploded. The next day, his eyes opened to a ceiling, not the dungeon sky. He found himself in a hospital. Sneering, he muttered, "What? I didn't die." A notification popped up, "Quest, contract completed. Tutorial system activated. Finish leveling up to level 10. Noticing the completed quest, a bright smile appeared on his face. "So, does that mean I cleared it?" As he contemplated, his sister peeked from the door. "Oh, brother." Her name was Tsiora, and she jumped with happiness. Geonwoo asked her, "Huh? Why are you here? Didn't you die, too?" Tsiora exclaimed, "Die? Why would I die?" She stepped out and called, "Mom. Dad. Brother's awake." Geonwoo's mom entered and began scolding him, "You. What have you done to yourself, huh?" He replied, "Ah. It hurts. Dad, stop Mom." His dad joined in, knuckling his head, and stated, "Stop? Why should I stop her? You little brat. If the situation was urgent, then you should have been thinking of getting out. Where were you staying until the end?" His expression changed suddenly as he couldn't reveal the harsh reality. He murmured to himself, "He's right. Choi Yong, the results-oriented brat. When I tried to save him, he betrayed me. What if I had pretended not to see him and left Min Suk? Then that incident where Choi Yong kicked me with his leg couldn't have happened. If I am to argue where the mistake lies, would have to say Choi Yong treating me as expendable plays the biggest part. Nor can I ignore that I had provided the excuse for him. I should have been suspicious of him from the start when he approached me." Leaving all the complications aside, Geonwoo smiled at his parents and reassured them, But look, I've come back safely. Don't worry. I'll take care of myself from now on." Tsiora exclaimed, "So, brother, it looks like you'll be better off giving up on being a hunter." Geonwoo asked, Why?" "I said I'd be careful from now." Tsiora turned and said, "That's not the reason." Geonwoo asked, "Is something wrong?" She led him near the mirror and said, "Well, don't be shocked by this. We'll all love you the same anyhow." Geonwoo walked forward, asking, "Why, what is it?" As he stood in front of the mirror, his level had changed from 46 to level 1. Stunned, he yelled, "What the hell is this?" After a few hours in the evening, Geonwoo sat in his hospital room, murmuring to himself, "I've always given it my all. I didn't even dream of becoming fabulously wealthy. I simply wished to live a normal life free of this poverty. I'm so sick of it." He grabbed his head and shouted, "God damn it. How could this happen? I suffered for 7 years. These damn 7 years." He glanced at his level, which was now 1, and questioned, "Why did this even happen? They say I was discovered in front of the collapsed portal to the D-class dungeon as a level 1. A completely unexplainable situation. I can only assume that something happened after I lost consciousness from the last battle. Must I enter that SS-class dungeon again to ask that man? This is so unfair. After managing to clear the SS-class dungeon, I couldn't even obtain items and got reverted to level 1. My family gave me space and left, but the mosquitoes were swarming at me. I'll hold myself back this once. What should I do? I don't know how to do anything else. Do I need to take out a loan and do dungeon tours? It'll take a lot of money to do, but it'll be an immediate help for leveling up." Frustrated by the mosquitoes, he swatted one away with his hand. I've spent 7 years fighting monsters. Even if I've been reduced to level 1, there's no way I'd let a mosquito get the better of me. Suddenly, a notification popped up, tutorial mode activated. Hunt 10 creatures 1 out of 10. You can also acquire experience through killing creatures that are not monsters. You killed a mosquito. You received 1 experience point. Since the tutorial ends, you will no longer be able to acquire experience through killing creatures that are not monsters. Your level has increased. You have received 5 points. All debuffs have disappeared. HP and MP are recovered. At that moment, his mother and sister Seora arrived. "Brother, what's going on?" His mom asked. Geonwoo, what's wrong? Geonwoo turned back and said, I leveled up. His mom asked, huh? What does that mean? Geonwoo replied, as I said, I killed a mosquito, and I leveled. I leveled up. Seora approached, patting his forehead and exclaimed, he doesn't have a fever. Mom, Dad, it looks like he may have to see the psychiatrist. His mother nodded in agreement, yes, that sounds like a good idea. Pointing at the mirror, Seora yelled again, oh, for crying out loud, it's true. Brother, face reality. Geonwoo looked at the mirror again, and his level was still at 1. Not seeing any difference, he was shocked, but that's not possible. Scrolling through the notifications, he said, I'm not mistaken about what I saw. It said my level increased. However, because I was too excited, there seems to be a message I missed. The message read, effect from the contract with the beginner Dagger has been activated. The level has been reset to 1. Beginner's Dagger? Isn't this the weapon I used while fighting the giant bull? Don't tell me I've become level 1 because of it. He turned his head and shouted, Seora, my weapon. Where's my dagger? Sarah asked, that weapon you were holding when you were discovered? She paused for a moment and then said, a person from the government came to investigate that. Geonwoo asked, a person from the government came. And where is the dagger now? Seora replied, it's in the locker for personal belongings on the 1st floor. What's wrong with you all of a sudden? He immediately rushed out. His mother asked from behind, Geonwoo. Where are you going? Ignoring his mother, Geonwoo moved forward, hidden piece. According to what that man I met in the SS class dungeon said, the dagger is the hidden piece. A powerful secret weapon was only given to people who cleared the quest with specific conditions. He smashed the door and walked outside, but unexpectedly, he collided with something. His head buzzed, and he opened his eyes and said, ugh. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that person was Choi Young. He said, my goodness. Looks like this patient is already up and about.